I'm gonna burp. Hey, a little tiny one. Hey guys! A while ago, when everyone was speculating about who would be the next guy to play James Bond, I was going to make a video talking about some of the frontrunners, then everyone kind of stopped talking about it, so I thought it was kind of pointless to bring up an old topic. Now it turns out that I believe Sony is planning to give Daniel Craig $150 million, is it, to play Bond again. So obviously now the conversation has opened up again. I have enjoyed watching Daniel Craig as Bond. A lot of people didn't think he'd be able to do a good job, and he did prove them all wrong. That doesn't mean that he shouldn't, you know, quit while he's ahead. If we're going on the year these films were released, we'll be able to kind of get an idea of how old Daniel Craig will be the next time. So, Casino Royale, his first outing, 2006. He was 38 years old. Quantum of Solace, that came out in 2008. He was then 40. Skyfall, 2012, 44 years old. Spectre, last year, 2015, 47. But let's think about this logically. It's 2016 now, and obviously there's no confirmation of whether he's going to be Bond or someone else is. So there's not going to be a Bond film released this year. 2017, if it all gets sorted out, there'd probably be filming going on next year, and then there's a long laborious process where you've got to edit the film. By this logic, there won't be a Bond film in 2017 either. The next Bond film, if everything gets straightened out in the quickest amount of time possible, will be released in 2018. He will be 50 years old. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. I'm pretty sure that no other Bond has been 50 years old. Don't quote me on that. I have no idea really, I haven't actually looked at them. I know that being kind of an old badass dude works well for Liam Neeson, but it's a very different type of character. Also, if he's that old when playing James Bond and he's still going after these young, like 20-odd-year-old girls, that kind of steps over from being cool to really creepy, if it wasn't kind of creepy before. I want to take a little moment here to talk about some of the most awkward things Daniel Craig has said about playing James Bond. Let's not talk these films up as some kind of life-changing experience. I mean, I understand what he's saying, it's not like they're great masterpieces of cinema, but he's kind of just shat over the entire franchise there. Good times. There's one thing I actually find more exciting than Bond at the moment: going home. To be fair, if I was married to Rachel Weisz, I'd probably say the same thing. I'd rather break this glass and slash my wrists. All I want to do is move on. I think he just pretty fucking clearly there how much he now despises the role. If I did another Bond movie, it would only be for the money. That says it all. He's clearly not going to be putting all his heart and soul into this role. Should you really be having to try this hard? Is he that irreplaceable? I don't think so. And last but not least, when asked about who should play Bond after him, he said, "I don't give a fuck." I don't know, I think my final reason would basically be he's been Bond for 10 years. To be honest, I understand why he'd want to do different things. Basically, his entire career has centered around playing Bond. So I understand why he'd want to leave, and I think they really just need to let him go and put their work into finding someone new. And there is a lot of good candidates out there. I have my top 3 picks for James Bond here. First of all, Henry Cavill. He is probably the most beautiful man I've ever seen. He looks perfect. He has a perfect face, and also he's got a great body on him. He's English, which kind of is a prerequisite, at least to be able to do an English accent. He's very suave, he has the kind of hair and the face, and looks great in a suit. He's good at playing a hero. Obviously, he plays Superman. Although Superman then does throw up other challenges, you would probably assume that he wouldn't want to get involved in another massive franchise when he's already playing Superman. I believe he was maybe passed over before at some point because he was too young at the time. I think I read that somewhere. He'd be a great choice. My second choice is Tom Hiddleston. He's very attractive, still very sophisticated looking. He has a great English accent. I feel like Americans seem to think that every British person sounds like these guys. They don't all sound like that. If only they did. He's very talented. Everything I've seen him in, basically, he's been really good. The Night Manager, everyone was talking about that. He hasn't got quite as impressive a physique as Henry Cavill. However, back before Daniel Craig, none of the James Bonds had a six-pack or pecs or anything. They were basically just kind of normal dudes. Apparently he's no longer in the running. Apparently something to do with Taylor Swift. I don't understand why that would be a thing. It's kind of stupid. he's an actor. I don't see why his personal life would have any sort of effect on his roles. That's kind of pathetic. My third pick is Aidan Turner. He's gorgeous, again. Originally I'd kind of only seen him in Poldark. You should watch it if you like drama and a bit of sexy time and beautiful scenery and great music as well, don't forget that. And in that he's quite rugged and he's got long kind of curly hair and like stubble and all that, and he is fine. I couldn't really see him as Bond, and then I saw him in a small series called And Then There Were None, which I believe is based on a book. That was also very good, you should watch that too. It's kind of like a thriller, mystery, murder type thing. But he pulled off Suave very well, clean shaven, slick back hair, nice clothes, and he's also would be perfect for the kind of rough and ready kind of Bond that Daniel Craig introduced. I mean, it used to be that Bond wouldn't get a speck on him, it's not a hair out of place, whereas Daniel Craig has been shot and he was naked on a chair getting his wiener hit with chains, and he's Irish, but he does a perfect English accent, so that's not a problem. He is probably the least well known out of the three, at least globally. So yeah, I think he'd probably be my number one pick, but who knows what they're gonna do, whether they're gonna find someone new or convince Daniel Craig to stay on for 2 more films. I think that's a stupid idea. I think a new face would be perfect. It'll reinvigorate it, you can scrap everything you've done in the past, start completely afresh, and that's the beauty with James Bond. You can completely change what a character looks like and never have to explain the reason. No one asks, no one cares, you just get on with it like nothing ever happened. No other franchise could get away with doing that. I'd love to know what you think, so, you know, put a comment down below and I will 100% reply to you. I'd love it if you'd share the video, like it, subscribe, encourage everyone to subscribe. I bet your nan would love my channel. You should tell your nan to subscribe. I will see you next time.